What's going on YouTube? So in today's video, I am finally going to go over my own settings and sensitivity, my warm-up routine, basically anything that comes to mind that is revolving around your sense and improving your aim, I will cover. Now for the new viewers that haven't seen my content yet, here's a quick clip from a tournament game against Stompin. Oh, Reed's got shit on.
Another one.
Yep, another one. He's swinging me, he knows I'm prone. Dead. Wait, let me fries me up this, right? I'm bolo.
Wait, I have a can. Wait. He's inside.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, there's my TikTok. First things first, let's go over my sense. Now, my sense does change from day to day, but for the most part, it stays in this range. 40 vert, 100 horizontal. I sometimes go down to 35. I have been staying on 40 for quite a while now. I sometimes go down to 90, but for the most part, between 35 and 40 vert and 90 and 100 horizontal. I always play 5-5 dead zones these days. I did try out 3 dead zone, and it feels amazing when you're locked in, but it is very inconsistent, and I just don't want to deal with that. If you're on the lower end of a sense spectrum, like let's say you play 30-60, like someone like Ricky or Kaysen, then you can maybe get away with the 3 dead zones because there's a lot less fine tuning when you're aiming. You're on a lower sense, so it is good for the lower sense players. But for me personally, I stick to the 5-5 dead zones. Now for my ADS, it's 24-38. It goes as high as 27-42. Sometimes I go even lower to like maybe something like this, but that's rare. For the most part, it's 24-38 and it goes up to 27-42, anywhere in that range. Now, if you guys want to find your sense to be exactly the same as the 1.0, 2.5, you want all that to be the same, go to Shadow Legacy Calculator on Google. It is a website that fine-tunes your aim for every single scope, so every single one feels exactly the same. You have to input a number that was pre-Shadow Legacy, which is a season where they made this change. So if you weren't playing then, you just gotta put in, like, let's say your 1.0 sense feels the best or your 2.5 feels the best. You just put in a number until it brings up your 2.5 sense to 38. You'll see when you go to the website. I do not use any of the advanced settings. It is a little bit too much, a little bit over the top. And even if you find the perfect advanced settings, it is not a guarantee that it'll even be useful to you. Vast majority of pro players don't use this at all. I don't recommend it either. Accessibility, this is preference. I use black and 70. Let's see, audio, I use night mode. Of course, max out master volume. If you are on PS5, go to settings. Go to sound. And where is it again? Here it is. Adjust through the audio profile. There's 5 of them, but I have tested all 5. I think lower 5 is the best for Siege. What else? I believe this stuff is all like personal preference. Like, yeah. Oh, there we go. Display. Don't use VSync. It's trash. Use performance mode. I use 84 FOV. 80 HUD display. Brightness 55. So those are all of my settings. But let me give you a warning. Sensitivity is tailored to each person. Do not use my settings just because you think my aim is good. Do not use Stompin settings. Do not use Ricky settings. Find your own sensitivity. I use a DualSense Edge Pro controller with a Infernal Control Freak, and that is what my sense is tailored to. I also have a certain size hands. Not everyone has my size hands. I highly recommend you find your own sense and you stick to that. But now let me explain how you can find your sense. Let's go into a shooting range. What the fuck's shooting range? Sorry, I'm fucking stupid. There it is. This is also how I warm up for Siege as well. I usually do 1 shooting range, maybe 2, to start the day off, just to get my hands warmed up.
Show me how good you are.
For those that are wondering, these are the settings I use. I like to run all the way to the back to make it as hard as possible, stand in the middle, and I don't move my left hand at all. This is all right hand training. I like to stay ADS too. I don't like to overthink it. I don't like to try to hit every single shot possible. I just go left and right. This is all warm up. You don't got to take it too seriously here. And yeah, that's basically just what I did to warm up. Now, let's say you do this and you find that you are over adjusting for things. Let's say your sense is super high. Like, let me give you an example. This will be an example of someone's sense who's too high. See how I'm over flicking on things? It is hard for me to trace. I'm over tracing. I'm over flicking. This is not good. This is a sign that your sense is way too high and you need to lower your ego and change your sense. Because people love to play high sense and play flicky and look cool. But if you really want to get better aim, this is not the way to do it. And this video is for improving your aim. If your aim looks something like this, it's time to change it. Now, the beauty of low sense is this is hardly an issue. Overcorrecting, there's really no such thing as undercorrecting, bro. I don't really see anybody undershoot things. It's always overshooting. Let me show you an example of why low sense is so good. I don't play low sense at all. I prefer to play high sense because it's fun, but I've also perfected it, so I'm able to use it, but it is really hard to perfect. It takes a lot of practice. This is me on low sense for the first time in ages. Okay, this is a little bit too low, but I'll show you in a second. I'm already getting pretty good at it. Hardly making any mistakes. Hitting my heads. Like, as you can see, I don't use low sense at all, yet my tracing is almost perfect. I'm having no issues with crosshair placement for the most part. That's the beauty of low sense. Low sense allows you to be allows for more room of error, and if you do make an error, it'll be much more minimal than high sense. This is why I always preach to people asking me how to get better aim, how to just hit more shots, is go for the low sense. It is definitely better than high sense like mine. It takes a lot more effort to get used to high sense than it does low sense. And combining low sense with a good crosshair placement, you will be nasty. Players like Kaysen out there, Iowa out there, all these players out there use low sense, and they're just fucking killers, man. So yes, I highly suggest you guys use low sense. Now that's phase 1 of me warming up. Let's go into phase 2. I go into a map training endless drill. I usually just stick to the attacker only. Now, the beauty of the endless drill is it is 60 minutes long. You can run around in this for as long as you want. I usually just put on some music and I run around pretty brainlessly. Especially if I'm on a new sense, I will sit in this for a really long time. Because you can't die in this. In old terrorist hunt, you used to be able to die. And that's the benefit of this new one, is that you'll get shot a million times, you'll never die. The only issue with this new one is that the terrorists don't move like they used to. Like they're all standing still, which is kind of shit. But still, nevertheless, just run around brainlessly, bro. Just aiming your gun. Oh yeah, that's something I need to mention, is if you really want to get good aim, you can't think about how much you're pulling down on your stick, how long you need to flick your thumb. You can't be thinking about any of that stuff. You want to practice so much that all of this becomes mindless gameplay to you, bro. Just muscle memory at this point. It's definitely muscle memory for me. I don't need to think about any of this. I can just yap the entire time while I run around. Very low effort, and that is truly when you know you're getting good at Siege, you're getting good aim, is you can do all this stuff without even thinking about it. There is no secret, no matter what people say. There is no secret sauce, there's no secret sense that'll make you good at the video game, bro. It's literally just practice, bro. This is what I always preach. Practice. Now keep in mind, running around in this is strictly for mechanics. You obviously don't want to do this in game, which is what I'm going to go over next. In game, you want to really work on your crosshair placement, and a good way to do that is usually in a free-for-all, but you could also do it in endless drill. And a key to crosshair placement is to always aim where you think someone's head would be, and which is pretty simple. Now keep in mind, you don't want to have this mindset of being mindless and running around in a competitive environment like ranked. In ranked, you want to be much more mindful, and in order to be more mindful, moving on to the next phase of your warm-up, and the final phase would be to play free-for-all. Now, you want to be a bit more mindful in free-for-all. You don't want to run around brainlessly, although I do that a lot, I can't lie. If you really want to get a good warm-up in, you want to take this as if it's a real game, having good, correct crosshair placement. Don't run around like an idiot. Oh. Take every gunfight like it's a ranked game. Very key. Another thing I see a lot of unskilled players do is they like to do, I'll show you right now. in the next gunfight. They love to do their fucking crouch spamming. Can I see someone, please? Crouch spamming is terrible. It will mess you up more than it will mess the opponent up. It is not worth it. You may think that with your head bobbing up and down, it is a lot harder to kill you. Really, it is not. The most you should be crouching is one crouch. For example, on this doorway, swing, crouch. That's all you should be doing. Okay, where the fuck did this Dokkaebi go? Especially if someone is holding a doorway, when you swing a doorway like this and you crouch and someone is holding head level, they have to adjust their crosshair placement to your crouch, and it is actually really hard to do because you have to react to it. And when you're swinging in a swing or be swung game, bro, you're not really reacting too much. Like that, boom, smoked, idiot. It's kind of hard to talk and explain shit when I'm trying my heart out. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I could run around in free-for-all for literally an hour if I wanted to, bro. Rank 2.0 has become so dead and boring. It's like glorified casual, and it's not fun at all. Free-for-all, I just get to run around and shoot people, dude. And coming from COD, I've always loved running and gunning, bro. Although you should transfer that to your game. You know, rushes are cool when necessary, bro, but please do not be a run and gunner, bro. You will never be good at this game. At the higher levels. It is not worth it. See, look at how that guy crouch spammed. I did one crouch and fucking killed him. He probably whipped an entire mag because he was trying to crouch spam. The most you do is one crouch and one stand. That's the most you should ever do in a gunfight. That was a perfect example of why crouch spamming is shit. Another tip is if you're 1 HP, like how I was right there in that gunfight with that Twitch, I love to crouch swing shit because if someone is swinging head level, they have to flick down to shoot you. And if you have good crosshair placement, you're aiming perfectly head level, it is a better chance that you might actually win that one. Because if you hit them with their first bullet in their head, instead of them, you know, just hitting one body shot and you dying, bro, it just evens out the odds a little bit more. Oh my god, I can see you in the corner.
Double elimination.
Now, everyone asked me for a specific amount of free-for-alls I played before heading in a rank. There was no number. You just do it until you think your aim can't get any better, you're fully warmed up, and then you fly in a rank. Just however many that takes is however many that takes. What else could I talk about? Oh yeah, control freaks, they are not necessary, they are a preference. However, I do love control freaks, especially for the higher sense players. It allows for better precision, but they are not necessary. People ask me about this DualSense Edge controller. It is not necessary. I do like it because it comes with trigger stops. These joysticks actually pop out like the entire thing. You get a second pair. If you get stick drift like this one right here, it doesn't have the joystick part, but this is what it looks like. But I have yet to get any actual stick drift on this controller. The worst it gets is you can feel it gets a little worn down. It doesn't feel as new. It feels a little bit loose, but no stick drift yet. It also comes with back paddles. But in the end, it is $200. It is quite expensive for a controller. You can do everything that you want to do with a default controller. You do not need one of these. I would say at most it gives you like a 5% boost, I'd say, but yeah. You do not need a entire ass DualSense controller. Let me show you right now, actually. I'll prove it to you right now, for those that don't believe me. Because people say that I need all this shit to get good, but you really don't. I was running this game on a default controller before I got this. And let me prove it to you. Mid aim. Are you real, buddy? There you go. Your ass, buddy.
Consecutive elimination.
Ooh! Look at me, bro. I told you, bro. I'm like that. Oh.